Yeah, I was actually just a regular guy. I grew up in Yangon mostly. So Yangon is obviously kind of like Bangkok of Burma, right? So not a capital city, but the largest city. So I grew up in Yangon downtown with a mall. So I went to public school. I went to just a regular university. So because I think about like 15 years of my life, human experience, like literally entered the military regime. So I did not know about any outside world. So, and then I consume highly censorship media in Burma. So, and then I grew up. I was not a good student. So I was not a good student, but eventually I made it into the law school. Law degree, but I mean, that sounds cool if you see it from America or your international audience. But in Burma at the time, law degree is for bad student. Most people aim to get like doctor or engineer, but some people there's education system is like you memorize everything. And you basically record it back at the exam at the exact same way as the textbook. And so the more you memorize as a photographic memory, the more like grade or score you get in the exam. And so I was not that kind of guy. And for some reason, I don't know why, but so it's a kind of like a standardization test, right? I was not a part of that. And so I did not get a good score, like barely make it. So the good thing is barely made it, but the bad thing is I had a limited choice at the time. So since I was a bad student at the matriculation exam, aka what is it called, the grade 11. So like final high school exam, right? Let's just say, and so I have a very limited choice as a major. So and then I discussed and talked to different people, and they suggested me to go for a law school, so law major, because one of the lowest major in university at the time. So I mean, I did not have any other choices, so I went for it.
So where did you merge into building this following? So I know you were speaking about progress in your country, right?
Right.
So tell us more about how that developed.
Sure. So and then during my university time, I used to go to internet cafe because I love to use the internet and all the stuff. I think during 2006, 7, 8, 9, I was a high school student at the time. So sometimes I skip my tuition classes. Tuition classes mean we have after school classes. So I skip tuition classes and go internet cafe because I love internet. So I can read like international news. I can follow. I can read international news in English. So I can also improve my English at the same time, right? So by the time I usually hang out with my senior brothers from school, from like neighborhood. We play soccer on the street because I wanted to be them, right? I wanted to be grow up like them, and so but they said, bro, do not go to internet cafe. And also my teachers, and some other anti-anchor, they told me not to go to internet cafe in 2006, 2007 because going to the internet cafe is a bad behavior in Burma. Because they think, internet is a place to watch pornography video. So, watching a pornography video as a teenager is a bad thing, right? So I always hear about it in the global Bitcoin community because, this is something we can sort of can feed that way, right? So innovations always get misunderstood. So, but I do not care because I see the benefit of using the internet. I can read international news in English language. I can play game. I can play around the computer because I did not have a computer at my own. So, I play around the computer at the internet cafe. So going back, at the time, I read a lot of positive development of my home country, Burma. And Aung San Suu Kyi was being released in 2010. Changes came in. United States, re-engaged with Burma after almost half of the century, right? So being isolated. So that's a great development. And then along the way, I saw that Hillary Clinton visited Burma and then met with stakeholders. And President Obama, historically came visit to the country, as a historic visit, as an acting U.S. president, American president in over 200 years history of the United States. So that's incredible. It changed my life because like traditionally in my home country, like if you graduated from high school or university, so if you are from affluent family, usually you go to the West, like America or Canada or Australia. They send their kid to those countries because they know that, their kid could not get a better life here. So like, middle class, just a regular family like me, go to some other Asian countries or Dubai or, like Thailand, Singapore, Japan, Korea, right? So that's kind of like traditional pathway. But I see the difference, in my generation. I think they publish also like, a media freedom policy, basically, journalists, they can have a freedom limited freedom, I will say. Limited freedom, United States actively re-engage diplomatically, economically. So I see the hope.
Cool.
It was a hope, and okay, so maybe I wanted to be a part of the history because this is cool, right? Because and then I decided to remain in Burma. So I actually I graduated a law degree and I worked for a law firm for 3 months. I hate it, like totally hate it 100%. So for various reasons, and so I quit my job and then pursue like tech startup. And at the time we have kind of like online shopping company. So I work for them as a marketing manager, all those steps. So yeah, that's incredible. And then in 2018 I received, and also I met with I participated with town hall debate with President Obama in 2014. So yeah, it was incredible. So super inspired about it. And in 2018, I got a like professional fellowship award from the State Department. So I went to Chicago and then I think I spent about like 6 weeks or 2 months in America. And for the first time, it was the first time. And so a lot of people, when I came back to Burma, returned to Burma, they said, "Hey, what do you learn? Like from America, at that point?" And then I said, "No, actually, I didn't learn anything. But I learned like culturally, and like a different culture, different experience. But I was in South Side of Chicago. You might probably know this, South Side of Chicago, and there's a lot of underprivileged kids. They are African American. They live in generational poverty cycle, right? So basically, they sent me to the South Side Chicago, and basically I taught digital literacy to those kids in America.
That's amazing.
So yeah, at that time, like I see, before going to America, I thought, everyone in America is Elon Musk or billionaire, it's like, extremely rich people. But they didn't send me to New York City or California or LA. They sent me all the way straight to Chicago, but South side of Chicago. And yeah, Chicago is like great, amazing, a lot of skyscraper, great infrastructure. But Southside Chicago is a different story.
Sure.
It's not so much different than Burma. Yeah, also they grew up in America. They speak English with, American accent, but being an American citizen. But like most of them, they do not have an internet at home in 2018. They do not have internet at home. They do not have computer. So which is why they take note with the pencil on the paper. So that I witnessed the first-hand experience of huge inequality in America. I returned to country, basically, I basically share my, digital literacy, digital empowerment to young people across the country. And some of my projects, like basically got them viral on internet and social media. And then I became basically, get a follower, from various part of the country in 2018. And then 2020, I decided to publish a book about how we should think about 21st century escape, even though we are living in Burma, right? Because I totally get for average Burmese young generation like me, because like we couldn't afford to go to America, so we're gonna have to do something great in the country. So so that's why I wrote about personal development, consider digital education, digital learning skill, digital tech savvy skill, all the stuff in the book, and it became one of the best-selling book in 2020.
So is that how the brand built?
Right. So it was and gradually from like 2019, 2020. And then, so yeah, within 2 years, like I basically
got this huge following.
Yeah, half a million followers, right? So huge.
And so what platform was this on?
Yeah, 100%, like mostly on Facebook. Facebook, because Facebook is the internet in my country.
Right. I think I read recently here on Grok, 91% of Thai people use Facebook.
Right,
So
right.
I mean, it's probably similar.
Right, same.
We're pretty close to the border. If you're watching, we're only a few hours. If you fly straight, or like a bird, it's pretty close to here. That's fascinating.